Hey guys, halfway. Welcome to module 4. I'm going to call this the hump module instead of hump day. Is that too much? I'm going for it. This module is going to cover unit 7 and 8. And unit 7 is an overview of residential building construction techniques, which are very, very important when we are assessing the value of a property. We're going to look at building measurements, house styles, traditional, contemporary. We're going to look at house types. 1-story, 2-story, 1.5-story can have a huge impact on the value of a home. We know it costs more to build a 1-story because we have more slab and more surface area, more land, and we also have more roofing. But also we could look at a difference in value as if a community has a whole lot of 2 stories and very few 1-stories, that 1-story could possibly be a lot more valuable because we go back to the supply and demand. There just aren't that many, and people may want a 1-story and they're tired of running up and down the stairs. The unit will briefly also touch on factory built homes such as modular or mobile homes. We're going to look at location. Again, is this property located very close to an airport and maybe on the flight path out of an airport where there's a lot of noise, a lot of interference that could have an impact on the value of the home. And then we'll look at construction details. For example, is the home on pier and beam? Is it on slab? Does it use stucco, or was it built with brick? And this could be important. An example was many years ago, probably 20 years ago, I was selling real estate in a community where a home builder had installed stucco improperly, and it caused a lot of leaks and a lot of mold issues. And so it took many years to turn that reputation around, because when people would go into that community, if they saw a stucco home, they were automatically like, oh no, taboo, get back. That's a bad thing. And so it definitely impacted the value of those homes that were built with stucco in that particular area. And there could be other areas where a home built with stucco may be more valuable than one with brick. So these things are really important. And also we're going to look at green building, which is also very, very important, especially as our nation is going more green. I know my husband and I owned a house that was built in the 70s and sold it and moved into a home that was built in 2012. And a big decision there was that the newer home was far more energy efficient because of the windows and the insulation, and the difference in the value of the difference in the monthly mortgage payment was offset by the difference in the electric bill. So we're going to look at green building, and then also in unit 7, you're going to look at environmental issues that need to be considered, such as lead-based paint, radon, asbestos. There are environmental disclosures. We know the lead-based paint disclosure if a home was built before 1978. And also a buyer can get an environmental inspection if they're really concerned about something at that property. But those things could also affect the value of the home. Unit 8 is going to cover the types of data that an appraiser may access in order to perform the appraisal. We're going to look, a lot of detail will be given to the Uniform Appraisal Data Set, which is required by Fannie Mac and Freddie Mac. So, for example, if a home buyer is financing FHA, they're going to need an appraisal where the appraiser does use that Uniform Appraisal Data Set. And so we'll get more detail into that as well. Unit 8 will wrap up by going in more detail into the typical appraisal method, which is the sales comparison approach. I believe it was in unit 6, we touched on the 3 different approaches to appraisal, but in unit 8, we'll get more detail into the sales comparison approach. I hope you guys have a great hump module. And as always, reach out to me on the discussion board if you have any questions. I'm here to get you through. So let's get over that hump. See you next week.